Good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting of the City of Lenoir for Tuesday, January the 3rd, 2023. How about that? We get to say 23 for the first time. So, welcome. We're glad that you're with us tonight. Most everybody here are our staff, and we're glad to have you guys, as always, with us. And Katie's here from the News Topic. We're glad to have you, Katie, to join us. So, just a minute, we'll go to our moment of silence and our Pledge of Allegiance. Before we do that, I would like to say some thank yous to all of our staff for everything that's been going on over the last few months. We appreciate, obviously, the Christmas and all the decorations and everything that you guys did such a great job with. We have had more compliments, and I'll tell you what, people have been so excited about it. We really appreciate Matthew and John and all you guys, Bradford, Police, Kenny, all of you, thank you so much for all you've done for that downtown. And also thank you for, I know it's been tough these last cold days. We've had a lot of guys out in the cold nights and trying to get things fixed and going, and so we appreciate all of that. Please pass on that the council appreciates all that's been done there. I know it's been some tough times doing that. Fires, I know we had a fire Christmas Eve, I think it was, that we had to go out for, and just so many things. So thank y'all for all you do. Thank you for 2022, and we look forward to 2023 being a successful year. So
it's almost like you were 6 months delayed on talking about that. It's 65 today and yesterday.
I know, that's the truth. That is the truth. One other quick thing, where's Ted? Tell Ted to step out here a minute. There he is. Ted got married on New Year's Eve. So we're proud of that. He got engaged on Christmas Eve, got married on New Year's Eve. That was a quick one. Ted, congratulations, and we hope everything will be great.
You better be careful. It's been too recent.
All right, now we'll go to our time of just a minute, moment of silence and our pledge. As we do, let's please keep the football player that was injured for Buffalo last night. What a horrible thing. Of all the years I know we've all been watching football, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. We've seen injury before, but we've never seen someone we weren't sure whether they were alive or not. The reports today are that he is, and they're trying to do things to get him back going again, and we hope that he will, and we'll keep him, please, and his family in our thoughts and prayers as this moves forward. So thank you. Let's now rise for our moment of silence. Thank you. We salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first matter tonight is a matter scheduled for public hearing. Tonight we're going to talk quickly about the proposed preliminary plat. This is for Hill Haven subdivision. This is a quasi-judicial public hearing which will be held to consider approval of the Hill Haven Place primary subdivision plat to create 22 lots from 2 vacant tracts, and approval of conditions 1 through 7 as listed on page 9 of the submitted staff report. Quickly, a quasi-judicial hearing is a hearing where the City Council is acting much like a judge or jury in court. City council members are not allowed to talk to people who are for or against an application prior to the hearing, or if they do, must disclose these conversations at the public hearing. City council can only consider and make their decision based on the relevant, admissible evidence that is testified under oath and presented at the hearing. All right, at this time, we have a note to this. The applicant and the adjoining property owners are in agreement and request continuance of the public hearing until February 21st, 2023, City Council regular meeting. What I'm going to do, and Mr. Ward, you have anything that you want to add to that?
Well, I think based on that, I think probably the easiest thing to do would be to open the public hearing and
Okay.
then immediately, if it's the will of the council, continue it to the February 21st court date. And at that point, department can present its report and we can hear from folks who want to do it. We can also make any disclosures of anyone who's reached out. For example, even though I'm not a member of council, if I get involved in the hearing, I would let everyone know that Jim Spanenberg called me a couple of weeks ago, and I told him I couldn't talk to him about it, and that was it. And I understand that there may have been some other contacts which we can disclose at the February 21st
Right.
hearing, if that's the will of council to do
Right,
so.
okay. Well, I will open the public hearing at this time, and I will ask that, I know that Hannah is here. If anything needs to be questions of her at this time, or anything that's said from our planning department.
Probably makes sense to just go ahead and wait for February 21st
Okay.
for Hannah or anyone else from the department to make the presentation, since presumably then folks will be there to respond to the report and at the quasi judicial hearing.
Okay. All right, so we'll,
Mayor, on the advice of council, I'll make a motion that we continue the public hearing until our regular February 21st meeting.
okay. I will close the public hearing, I'll
No.
leave the public hearing open. Continue it until the meeting of February 21st. And we have a motion from Councilmember Purdue that we continue it till February 21st. Any other question or discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Hannah, for being ready for that. Okay, so we'll move that to then. All right, we'll move on then to consent agenda items tonight, consisting of minutes of the city council meeting of Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. Minutes for the closed session minutes of the city council meeting of December 6th, 2022. These were reviewed by the city attorney, the city council, and the city manager. And item C is the FY 2023 annual audit contract / non-attest services. This will be approval of the FY 2023 annual audit contract / non-attest services for the city of Lenore as submitted by C. Randolph, that's Cindy Randolph, CPA, PLLC, for audit services at amount of $14,420, and as submitted by S. Eric Bowman, PA, for non-attest services at amount of $38,000. Those are your consent agenda items. If there's any questions?
Just a quick question for
Okay.
our CPA on the board. Please define non-attest services, please.
Non-certified, non-audited or reviewed or compiled
So no
financial.
opinions on anything or anything like
Correct.
that. Okay, thank you.
That specifically, Eric will gather and help Donna pull the report together.
So it's compiling data, not offering opinions.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Cindy will do that part of the services.
Okay. And I should have mentioned that Mr. Hildebrand is not with us tonight. He is under the weather at home, and we don't want him up here right now. So, and I don't know, is he on,
He's listening and watching via Zoom.
okay, he's watching. There he is, okay. Anything that you wanted to add to any of that, sir?
Mr. Stevens did a fine job.
Okay. He handled it well, okay. All right, well, Mr. Hildebrand is on if we need anything, and you please come in anytime you need to. All right, any questions, anything else on the consent agenda items? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda items A through C as submitted.
Okay. Have a motion from.
easy for me to
Yeah,
say.
easy for you to say. Councilmember Stevens for the consent agenda items A through C as submitted. Any other question? Not, I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, we'll move on to requests and petitions of any citizens. I think most everyone here is with our staff, unless you guys have anything you want to bring up, you're welcome to at any time. But if not, we'll move past that. We do not have reports of our boards and commissions. We'll move on to the report and recommendations of the city manager. Mr. Hildebrand, you want to make that report?
I can, This week is the beginning of Christmas tree pickup. It will run through Friday of this week. The City County Service Committee will meet on Monday, January 9th at noon at the Civic Center. The Aurora Tourism Development Authority will meet on Wednesday, January 4th at 4 p.m., and that's a Zoom meeting. And LVAD scheduled to meet on Thursday, January 12th, 6 p.m., City Hall, third floor. And City Offices will be closed on Monday, January 16th, in service of Martin Luther King holiday. Tonight, we only have one item for council consideration. You have the North Carolina League of Municipalities voting delegate for this coming year, and also council selection of 10 of the 16 proposed goals. I know the mayor has distributed today, I think, his recommended list of those goals, and if you want to go through those, Mayor, you can.
Okay.
Or if council's in agreement, we can go back and have you folks vote on those.
Okay. Yeah, I had Shirley send you out again this afternoon the list of the legislative goals as presented by the legislative committee. I did serve on that with the League of Municipalities on the committee that selected from probably 75 to 100 goals that were submitted. They narrowed that down to the 16, and then we are asked of those to vote on or send in our 10 that we select, which I have marked here. If you'd like to discuss any of those, we can on that. I will bring that up, and I know you've had a lot of chance to look at it. I hope you have, but if you haven't, if there's any questions, I'll be glad to go over them if you'd like to go over the
For
goals.
the benefit of the public, it might be good just
Okay.
to highlight them.
All right, we'll do that. All right, the first one that we are recommending is revitalize vacant and abandoned properties with enhanced legal tools and funding. This will deal with abandoned and vacant properties. Often the subject of so-called tangled titles can affect the ability of communities to revitalize areas and improve economic conditions. The abandoned properties with enhanced legal tools to help heirs clear up the title issues and sell properties at market rates could help address local housing needs. And third part of this one is many towns do not have the funding to adequately address abandoned properties. That's the first goal. Second goal is create an adequate and permanent funding stream for local infrastructure. The infrastructure, including roads, water, sewer, stormwater, parks, and beaches, are critical to economic development and job creation. Many cities in the state are growing, creating a constant need for investment to keep pace with population growth. Many cities and towns also have aging infrastructure and structure that must be replaced, and creating more permanent funding streams for local infrastructure, such as a dedicated tax source, would allow for better planning to meet needs. That's number two. Number three that we're recommending is expand incentives and funding for local economic development. Funding is simply inadequate in many cities and towns to encourage job growth. State grants and incentives are often targeted in ways that fail to assist the areas in greatest need of job creation, and maintaining or expanding funding for film tax credits, major industrial site development, downtown development, and renewable energy tax credits help cities and towns across the state. That's items, that's 1, 2. That's item 4, expand incentives that encourage regionalization of water and sewer, as well as other municipal services when appropriate. A number of municipal water and sewer systems continue to financially struggle with deferred maintenance needs. These challenges come about largely due to population and job losses in rural areas, leading to an erosion of taxpayer and ratepayer bases. While legislators and municipalities have begun to address these issues with the creation of the Viable Utility Reserve and the use of the ARPA funding, state estimates show needs still exceed expenditures by several $1 billion. All right, number 5, enhance state systems and resources for local law enforcement, officer recruitment, training, and retention. Municipalities across the state are facing large law enforcement staffing shortages, in many cases severe shortages. State training resources are limited, and the cost of local law enforcement agencies to send recruits and existing officers to North Carolina Justice Academy locations can be prohibitive, and grant writing assistance is one of the several options that might provide better access to the large volume of federal law enforcement grant funding that is available. That's number 5, let's see, this one's 6. No, I got that one. Sorry, gonna make sure I marked it. Okay, this one is revised state contracting laws to better protect public entities from effects of inflation. Labor and material costs have been rising at a rapid rate, leaving municipalities with a few options when project bids and costs exceed expectations. Additional flexibility regarding the contracting process could assist municipalities in protecting taxpayers from inflation and escalating costs. Without contracting law flexibility, projects can be delayed and costs can further increase. Next one is update annexation petition thresholds to make voluntary annexations easier to initiate. Voluntary annexation by petition currently requires 100% consent from all property owners, a threshold that can be impossible to meet even if a majority of property owners can benefit by utilizing their property for business or residential purposes. Lowering the threshold from 100% represents a middle ground that would still reflect the will of property owners but not handicap communities' ability to economically thrive. The ability of a city or town to grow and reflect its urban footprint is vital to its financial health. City services are relied on by residents whether they live in or near municipal boundaries. The next one is provide authority to municipal water systems to recoup costs of cleanup from polluters. Local municipal water systems are increasingly being looked to for the cleanup of the PFAS and other forever chemicals found in the surface waters. State legislators plan to set surface water standards for these chemicals and propose maximum contaminant levels for PFAS chemicals in drinking water. To date, cities' only recourse to try to recoup that cost for utility rate payers is through the courts. The next one is provide local revenue options beyond property tax. Roughly 40% of the municipal general and fund revenue is generated by local property taxes. Cities have little to no authority to raise significant revenue in other ways. A lack of diverse local tax options can affect economic growth as well as cause large swings in revenue based on economic changes. And I think that's it.
I hate you had to read all that, but I think it was good for everybody to hear.
Yep.
Mayor, there's actually one more. Expand state transportation funding streams
I
for
see it.
construction and maintenance for municipal state-owned secondary roads.
Yep.
And it says current POW bill and other state funding is not adequate to address transportation needs, particularly as they affect municipal and state-owned secondary roads. In many cities and towns, major commuting corridors are not receiving the level of investment needed to keep pace with traffic. And also more investments needed for these roads as existing residents are to embrace business and residential growth.
Right. That's
And that's number 10.
Okay. Any other question or discussion? What we do, of course, if we vote to send these forward as our 10, these will go into the North Carolina League Board of Directors and will be discussed there. They will vote on the ones that they get from all over the cities across the state, and then they will send the top 10 that they come up with to our legislation. So I'll ask for recommendation on these 10 and for a delegate to represent passing these on to and vote for them with the League of Municipalities.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the 10 that you and the manager and staff have outlined.
Okay. All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Perdue that we agree upon and vote on the 10 legislative goals that have been presented tonight. If no other discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Thank you. And now we need a representative to that.
When does that vote take place, Mayor?
That's a good question. Scott, do you know that?
It's an online submittal.
Online submittal, okay. All right. Anybody want to do it, or, I mean, I'll be glad to. If you want me to, just to handle it, I'll certainly be glad to do it. I did serve on that committee and can work with them on that.
I think, make a recommendation that, you, Mayor Gibbon, be our voting.
Okay. All right, that's the motion on the floor that I will be the representative for the legislative goal statements recommended to the North Carolina League of Municipalities Board of Directors to be sent to the General Assembly. All in favor, please say aye.
Shirley Cannon to assist him.
And Shirley Cannon to assist. That goes as part of the vote.
We knew that would happen anyway.
That was a given. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed. Thank you very much. We'll get that taken care of and sent in. So thank you for that, work on that. All right, we have any other reports or recommendations from our city attorney, Mr. Rohr?
No, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I just want
Yes.
to mention one thing.
Go ahead.
I want to go back and congratulate the Western Piedmont Council of Government, Kaylin Horn, Donna Bean, and our Public Works Department, and also our Recreation folks for the state downtown transformation grant we received for the campus, $580,000. That's a lot of work. And just want to thank them for all that hard work.
Yeah. Thank you very much for putting all that together. Matthew, I know you were part of that as well, and others that were involved in that. We're very excited about what's happening at the campus at historic Lenore High School, and this has got us off to a huge start. So we're well on the way with that, so that's great. Thank you for that. Anything else, Mr. Hildebrand?
So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, from Mayor's office, I do have a couple of board appointments that I'd like to recommend to you, the council, that we appoint Hunter Greer to serve a term on the Lenore Housing Authority, which will expire in June of 2025. And Mrs. Tammy Green to be appointed to the Lenore Planning Board for a term which will expire in June of 2026. These appointments were announced at our December 6, 2022 meeting of the City Council. So I'll make those recommendations to you and ask for your vote, if you will.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept your recommendations and board appointments as
Okay.
presented.
Thank you. Councilmember Stevens makes a motion that we approve the board appointments of Mr. Hunter Greer and Mrs. Tammy Green for these boards. No other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to report and recommendations of any of our council members. Anyone have anything to bring up tonight? Mr. Perkins, anything?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, if there's nothing else to come before us, and there's nothing else any of you guys have out there, we stand adjourned.